Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Drooks Milan on Boxing. We've got a good boxing weekend up ahead. We've got Jaime Munguia in action against Demetrius Ballard in Mexico. That will be an all-action affair, as we know from all of Munguia's fights. But the one I want to be talking about is the big fight that's happening in the Manchester Arena in the UK between Amir King Khan and Kell Special K Brook. Now, it's a fight that's been brewing for years. There's always been a lot of banter back and forth between the two. And a lot of people are criticizing the fight. They say, well, nobody cares now. They both shot. Who cares about this fight? But I will say this. My memory serves me that when Sugar Ray Leonard and Thomas Hearns finally got their rematch on, I think it was about 8 years after their last encounter, people were saying, it's too late, who cares about it now? Hearns certainly didn't look good before that against James Kinchin, and Leonard looked far less than his best against, if I recall, was Don Lalonde. Now, here we have Brook and Khan, and honestly, I think Leonard and Hearns had a lot more left at that stage of their careers than Brook or Khan did, and they were really Hall of Fame level fighters, so they were a level above these two. But as we always say, it's a huge cliche, but cliches are cliches because they are often true, and styles make fights. And I think unless it ends too early, this will probably be a good fight. Neither one wants to lose against the other one. Khan doesn't want to lose to Brook. Brook definitely doesn't want to lose to Khan. And I don't begrudge them one big payday because they are there to be great in their career. They've fallen short, but they fought the best, and you can never ask more than that. So for that, I have big respect for both Amir Khan as well as Kell Brook. If you look at Amir Khan, perhaps a slightly more accomplished career, he had a very good run at junior welterweight, unified WBA and IBF titles, coming back from an early career stoppage at the hands of journeyman Bradus Prescott, and then eventually lost a decision that could have gone either way against Lamont Peterson, and then got stopped by Danny Garcia, and that was the end of his junior welterweight title reign. He recovered very well from that as a welterweight, had a really nice run there. A lot of people forget about. He beat Luis Colazo, was on a winning streak then. He beat Devon Alexander, former champion. He beat Chris Algieri, a former champion. And he was on the verge of a welterweight title shot when he jumped 2 weight divisions to middleweight to challenge Canelo Alvarez. Boxed well. His speed gave Alvarez some trouble, but he got knocked out stone cold in the 6th round in that fight. And from then on, it was sort of in and out for Amir Khan. Eventually, he challenged Terence Crawford, and he got stopped in 6 rounds for a welterweight title. Now, Kell Brook was almost a similar career trajectory. He got his title shot quite late, eventually won it in America against Sean Porter. Probably one of the best performances by a Brit on foreign soil. Boxed well, won a close decision against Sean Porter, made 3 title defenses, and then did what Khan did in a different way. Jumped up to middleweight to challenge Gennady Triple G Golovkin, who nobody wanted to fight. And fought valiantly, had his moments like Khan did against Alvarez. And then eventually Golovkin's heavy hands was too much. Stopped Brook, broke his eye socket. And I think after that fight, for me, Kell Brook was never quite the same. He was damaged. And then on top of that, he had to drop down to welterweight. He didn't vacate his belt. Credit to him for that. And he took on mandatory challenger, which is, of course, Errol Spence Jr. And he also fought well against Spence Jr., but he got stopped. And I think that aggravated that eye socket injury. Now, he might not have beaten Errol Spence Jr. anyway, but there 2 back-to-back punishing losses. And eventually Brook got stopped in his last fight against Terence Crawford as well in 4 rounds. So what we have here are 2 guys with similarities in their style. Amir Khan has got a slight 2-inch reach advantage. For the rest, they're physically more or less the same. Khan is known as a speedster, as is Brook. They're both quick guys, quick hands, and they both can punch if you look at their knockout ratios. Khan, the obvious failing is he hasn't got a great chin. Tag him a couple of times, he's going to go. But sort of like Vladimir Klitschko, if Amir Khan boxes behind his jab, uses his speed, he's a very, very hard guy to beat. You've got to be a Terence Crawford or somebody like that if he boxes. But if he loses concentration, that he more often does than not, and he goes and brawls in spots, he usually goes down. He does have that fighting heart, he'll hang in there, but his chin is definitely not his strong point. On the other hand, Kell Brook, similar thing. Yeah, I don't think it's so much his chin. I just think he's taken physical damage to a point where his body cuts him out of a fight when he's taking punishment. So you've got two guys who's quick, who can punch, who don't take it too well anymore. So as I say, it could end quickly, or it could be a good shootout, and I'm hoping for the latter. For Amir Khan, he's got to use that little bit of a reach advantage. I think he might still have an edge in speed, and he's got to box. Keep Kell Brook off him and just make him ship punishment for a few rounds. And I think eventually Kell Brook will break down and Khan will get to him at some stage. But the big if is, can he take a shot from Brook? Can he survive a rocky moment or two? For Kell Brook, I wouldn't try and get in a long drawn out boxing match with Amir Khan. Don't let him drag the fight out. Now, guys that are far less than elite have put Khan on the floor, have even beaten him like Brady Prescott, but that was way back then. So there's inactivity here on both sides. They haven't been in the ring for a long time. At least Khan's last fight was a win against Billy Dip, which you can't say much from. But there's a lot of inactivity there. So I would, if I'm Kell Brook, jump on Khan in the first round and try and get him out of there before Khan's skills become a factor at all. I would just try and nail Khan on the chin and get him out of there. Don't let Khan get comfortable and set into a boxing pace. That's what I would do if I'm Kell Brook. I would turn Tiger here and I would try and end the fight before his various physical issues that he has from other fights left over become an issue. And if I'm Brook, if I'm Khan, I'll try and turn it into more of a boxing match and go for a stoppage late. Who's going to win here? It's very, very hard to say. I can see both winning by stoppage. I think it's going to be a stoppage. I struggle to see it going the full distance. I don't think that will happen, but you never know. But I'm leaning ever so slightly here towards Amir Khan. I just think at least he was in the ring. He got himself back in the win column, whereas Brook didn't. And I think Amir Khan can use his skills to just keep Kell Brook away from him. I think he will survive a few moments. He might go down once or twice, which I think is going to make it an exciting fight. But I think in the end, Kell Brook's eye sockets and general fragility is going to let him down before Amir Khan's chin finally lets him down. But I wouldn't put any money on this. This is literally swinging a ball and chain in the China shop. The China can break on either side, either way. But I hope they come through it unscathed. I hope it's a good fight. And I hope they both retire afterwards with a nice piece of change. They fought the best. They didn't always win, but they gave us some good memories to talk about. So that's my feeling on the big Kell Brook Amir Khan 12-round welterweight clash in Manchester this weekend. If you like this, please give a channel a thumbs up and a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate that. And until we see each other again, remember to keep those gloves up.